Yes, Zack.
It's not fair. It's not.
I love you.
I know, and I love you.
No, Zack.
For
Killing him. Exactly.
exactly.
I gotta call a lawyer.
See, that's why I hate the county. They don't even realize that he alive.
Yo, this shit is crazy.
Oh, you want Zack to,
I want him to learn his lesson.
I was going to say, suffer.
What is good? What is good? What is good, everybody? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. And of course, I'm going to bring you guys the season finale episodes 12. Lord, I forgot, y'all. Episodes 17 through episodes 20, which consist of the season finale of Tyler Perry's Zatima. How is everyone doing this evening? What are your thoughts about the last 4 episodes that they gave us from Tyler Perry's Zatima? I'm absolutely, impressed by everything that has gone on in this particular season. The cast definitely did an amazing job. Just my personal opinion, the writing was a whole lot better. The directions, everything that was going on in this particular season of Zatima, I was absolutely here for it all. Some of the titles of this particular 4 episodes consist of, let's see, Forgiveness was the episode 17. We had titles like, let's see, what was the next one? The next one was, hold tight, y'all. Hold tight. We got it. Unrequited love. Unrequited love. Now that one interested me. That title or that description was as follows: Zack and Fatima debate back and forth on trust as they handle family matters, and Fatima and Angela are caught off guard by Malachi's surprising revelations. Listen, I'm so over Malachi. I wish Malachi would just go run and hide and never be seen again. But unfortunately, y'all, I think we're gonna see him in the new season that's coming up. Then on that 19th episode, it was entitled Surprise, Surprise. I knew there were some things about Connie. I kept hearing Tony ask her question or ask others questions about her. Does she look different? Does she seem different? Well, we're going to find out in episode 19 what is actually going on with Connie. Yeah, I in this scene was so emotional, y'all. Your girl was crying like a big old baby. That's all I can say. But again, the actors, they did such an amazing job this season. And then in the 20th episode of Zatima, which was also the season finale episode, it was entitled To Die For. And I'll read the full description of this one, y'all, because it kind of wraps up the whole season in this. It says, Fatima attempts to keep the peace at Gladys' funeral. Zack struggles with his complex emotions about his mom, and Jeremiah's troubles bring danger to Zack and Fatima's door. And I got a couple of questions at the end of this, y'all. I'll have a couple of questions that I need answered. I don't know, some of these things, some of these moments, the writers, I don't know what they were really thinking when they stopped the season where they did. But I guess we'll have to just kind of keep watching to see, how everything truly unfolds, you guys. Let's see. Let me get to my slides, because the episode started off. I'll say the 17th episode, it started off with the, what was that? It was Zack, Fatima, and Malachi. They were all at dinner, and as well as Leslie. Oh my God, Leslie, y'all, she showed her behind. She showed her behind at this lunch, this luncheon, this bruncheon, this dinner, whatever time of night it was. She showed her tail, and she, the old Fatima, probably would have drug her, but because Fatima is trying to turn over a new leaf, she's, she was like, girl, you crazy, get out my house, because Leslie comes through and basically is saying that Fatima had just been with her man Malachi. There's some old doctored up pictures that Malachi with his Looney Tunes self put together, and it looked as if he and Fatima were actually together. But he says that's not true. That's just something that I doctored up. And that's something that, I put together. Dude is so obsessed with Fatima. He wanted to see what it felt like to basically have sex in the home of Fatima and Zack's. But this is why Leslie is looking like Fatima, because he wants her to be Fatima so bad. However, he cheated on her with Leslie, and Fatima don't want him. And she tried to get that in his skull, like, dude, I don't want you. I'm so over you. Please just move on, leave me alone. But unfortunately, she ended up calling him because she needed him to do something for Angela, and that was basically to find out who has put her information out there online like that, her naked images and all that stuff. That's the reason why they were actually at Zack and Fatima's home. And like I said, of course, Fatima is just like, I really didn't want to do it, but I really didn't have a choice but to call him to come over to my home right now. So we're gonna see how this really truly unfolds. Because like I said, Malachi is on some other stuff, and definitely, in my opinion, needs to seek therapy. How can you be an FBI agent, but you got a mindset of lunacy going on in the back of your head? Now, listen, y'all, this was a moment where Zack had a conversation. He came to the barbershop, of course, of Tony, and they had a conversation. Tony was just saying, hey, I think you need to go ahead and talk to Jeremiah, go to the hospital and talk to him, get this off your chest now, so that Jeremiah doesn't, go back and try to file charges on you. If you talk to him now, you can kind of get him to, kind of calm down, so to speak. But the thing about this, y'all, and let me get to this particular slide, because after Zack left the barbershop, even though Tony had just told Zack, hey man, I'm just being cautious around here simply because of the fact that we've been having robberies in the community, in the neighborhood. This is why I'm just, trying to be extra careful. And this is why I had to see who it was before I just let you inside of the barbershop. But before we get to that moment, Zack goes to the hospital. He finally makes his way to the hospital after some encouragement from Fatima as well as Tony and the other friends. He finally makes his way to the hospital. He and his brother, they somewhat make up for what has happened. Zack apologizes to Jeremiah. Jeremiah apologizes to Zack, and Zack tries to convince, or actually Jeremiah asks Zack if he would help him get some help. Like, he does not want to live the way that he is living on the drugs and everything, because, he's having a tough life. Nobody really likes him or cares for him. Not his own kids don't even, love him like that. And so he's asking Zack to help him get some help and go to rehab. And Zack, of course, he agrees to pay for him, to get some rehab. And like I said, they apologize to each other in their own way. And at the end of this scene, y'all, they actually hug, which was very touching, because since we've met Jeremiah, Zack and Jeremiah, only thing they've ever done is beef, argue, curse each other out, fight, whatever the case may be. So we get to see the brotherly love that actually exists between the two of them. So Then you guys, then we're back at that barbershop, y'all. This was the moment that I was like, what the heck? They ended up, there's this guy that ends up coming into the shop of Tony and ends up trying to rob Tony. And he's like, give it up, give it up. And Tony's like, this ain't what you want. You don't want to do that. And all you know is we hear gun popping, blickers popping, pole popping. Like this is all we hear. And then that's the end of the episode. And I'm like, wait, so what happened? Is Tony okay? Did Tony take old boy out? Like, give us more, give us more. But that was the end of that particular episode, y'all. That was the end of episode 17. And so, like I said, and we still don't know what actually happened. Did he pulls the pole on this dude? Dude pulls the pole on him, and we never actually find out what happened. What happened to Tony, or what happens. Well, we know what's going to happen to Tony, but we don't know the end of this situation. Did dude go to jail? Did dude get unalive? Like, what's the problem? What actually happened, y'all? Anybody else caught that moment that we didn't? They just acted as if it never happened with Tony. He never goes to discuss it with any other friends. None of that, y'all. So anyway, after the morning after, we're going to see Zack and Fatima. They've kind of made up. He's gotten him a little something from Fatima. And his phone rings and her phone rings. His phone rings and he's like, checking for me, see who it is. And he's telling her, I want you to, to trust me. And so Zack is like, you can check my phone. I'm okay with that. Fatima's like, nah, I don't need you looking at my phone, and I trust you enough, So anyway, of course, it's the doctor or the guy at the funeral home that's calling because he wants his money. He needs to know what are the plans. And so Zack says we could go ahead and basically have that funeral, tomorrow. We could get it over with. And of course, dude at the funeral home is saying, well, that's going to cost an extra dollar amount. Now, Zack has already written a check and handed it to him for the amount that he was actually quoted over the phone. But dude is like, nah, it's going to cost a little bit more than that because we holding the body. Like, it's not a real thing, y'all. Anybody ever had to, unfortunately, lay somebody to rest and then y'all had to wait a day or two and the funeral home charge more money? Anyway, dude was Zack said, F them dead people. Wow. I'm like, really, Zack? Really? But the funeral home director, he cursed a little bit too. But at the end of the day, they, like I said, they agreed that the funeral is going to be on the next day at the funeral home, basically at the funeral home, because of course Miss Gladys, or actually they're gonna have it at a church, but they're gonna hold her for another day. And it'll be first thing in that morning. What up, BKJ? Thank you for tapping in. Absolutely appreciate you. But yep. So moving on though. Listen, guys, when I tell y'all Stalker K, I don't even know what name I can use to explain Malachi right now, because Malachi is just so obsessed. It is giving me Mariah Carey, Eminem. Y'all remember when they had that little squabble and she had that "Why You So Obsessed With Me" video? Like, this is what Malachi is giving. And so he has placed a whole tattoo of Fatima on his chest. Like, seriously, dude? Like, really, dude? Like, bruh, you need some help. You working for the FBI. They did not do your background check properly because you running on some craziness right now. So anyway, you guys, even though when Fatima sees this, she's just like, okay, this is just too much. I'm gone. Anyway, the reason that he is there is to help Angela get out of her situation where her images have been placed online, her sexual images, all that stuff has been placed online. And of course, like I said, Fatima is gone. Like, she don't want to have any parts with Malachi. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him because, again, y'all, he's just doing way too much. And so, like I said, she's just over it. So Fatima ends up leaving. Malachi ends up taking the phone of Angela to kind of look and get the, get the IP address. However, Angela is too obsessed with what image he should actually screenshot or take a picture of. But girl, he's not really even looking at you. He's looking at the IP address. Angela is obsessed with herself. It is what it is. I'm not mad at that either, though. But yeah, so Malachi starts getting weird, even complimenting Angela. And so finally, Angela starts saying, "Oh, I'm getting sleepy. Just call me when you get the information." And that's where they at. Then, like I said, Zack has convinced, or Jeremiah convinced Zack to take him to rehab. They go to rehab. Jeremiah is fiending. He needs a hit so bad because while he was in the hospital, the medication that they actually gave him was something to help calm down his withdrawals and the everything that a person who is on drugs would go through. They, that's basically what they gave him, something to help counteract the withdrawal symptoms. But because he was out of the hospital for so many hours, going over to this new rehab facility, he didn't have that medicine to kind of calm him down. So, Zack talks to the doctor. The doctor says that we're going to try to do everything that we can to help him. We're going to give him that same dosage. It may not be the same as, it's not definitely not going to be what they've given, what he's used to, but it'll be something to kind of help calm down the situation. But Jeremiah is doing a heck of a job. Like, the guy who portrays Jeremiah, Ameer Baraka, he's doing such an amazing job in this particular episode, portraying and the next, portraying Jeremiah. He does such an amazing job. But y'all, this is the moment that we have to address, and it had me in tears. I just want to show you guys a clip. Dang, Connie. Oh my God, y'all. This was so freaking sad to me. Connie is basically in this particular scene. She was asking Tony to take care of her kids because she is not going to be around any longer to take care of them. Then she was asking him, "I wonder if Zatima and Zack will take care of them for me." Like, she told him, I'm dying. The doctor has given me my death sentence. I can't afford to get a second opinion. And so this is it. The doctor says that I am dying. Listen, when I say these two had me in tears, they literally had me in tears, because there's also a moment where Connie is just telling Tony, like, "Don't you cry, don't you cry, don't you cry." But being Tony being her friend, he was just as emotional as to be expected. I mean, listen, this was an extremely sad moment, but Tony kind of knew that something just wasn't quite right with Connie. He kept saying she doesn't look the same. He kept saying she looks different. Something is wrong. And finally, it's revealed that Connie has cancer and that she's going to die. Yeah, what else is there to say? I will say, behind the scenes, on another note, with this actor Layla Odom, she was on live today. Her and Javad Joseph, who plays Tony, and she's saying that when she received her script, her friend was actually in the hospital with cancer as she was reading the script. She did not know that that's what her line, that's what her script was going to be for the season. She didn't know that. And so it kind of, it of course, this storyline right here meant a whole lot for her. I'm hoping they just don't give her a death sentence and a new season, and then the first episode she's gone. I'm hoping they'll give her a character that can actually fight through what her character is going through, and then she comes out, she ends up being around, because I actually like Connie. Like, in the beginning, Connie was like, she was interrupting between Zatima and Zack, so I didn't really like her at that moment. But then she started showing Zatima that, hey, I'm really just I'm not trying to steal your man. I'm just trying to help you with your man, or try to help your man be a better person. And I'm not trying to get with him. I'm not trying to do all the things that I, could do or attempt to do with him. I'm just trying to really be a true friend. And so now Connie has grown on me. So I really don't, and I hope and pray nothing really happens, in the next season to Connie. I really want Connie to, to be around for the long haul, at least 2 more seasons if she can. So this is the moment, like I was telling you guys, where Angela was talking to Malachi. Malachi started getting weird, and it was time for Malachi to go. He's plotting in his head that he's got to basically break up Zack and Fatima. And, at this point, I don't see Zack and Fatima breaking up because of Malachi. If anything, Malachi might want to tread lightly, because Zack and Fatima are two whole fools, and anything is bound to happen. So, of course, Angela gets on the phone and she calls Fatima, lets Fatima know, your boy out here tripping, he's tweaking, you need to do something about it. And, that was basically the conversation between she and Fatima. Fatima got so much other stuff going on that she's not worried about Malachi, but she knows that at some point she's going to have to deal with the situation. Now, Connie went to the office and she just seemed different, but she was encouraging. She was telling Zack she was proud of him. Your mom would be proud of you. Just all these encouraging words a person would say. And it's almost like she was trying to prepare Zack for what is going on with her. But y'all, at the end of the day, she couldn't muster up the energy she couldn't muster up the mental strength to tell Zack what's really going on with her. In the midst of him getting interruptions, he got an interruption from the facility where Jeremiah was supposed to be, saying that Jeremiah had left the facility. Then he got an interruption from Fatima saying, come on home. So, she was really come on home. And so she really didn't get the opportunity to tell Zack that, the doctor said that she's dying and that she has cancer. But Zack kind of felt like something was wrong, but she never would tell him. And I'm just like, girl, go ahead and tell your friend. Go ahead and tell your friend what's really going on. Yeah, that was another emotional moment. I'm like, oh my God, Zack is about to go through some more stuff, hearing about his friend. And, she was really a friend, regardless of the fact that they used to have a relationship. Zack, as well as Connie, were actually friends. They grew up in the same neighborhood. Again, this doctor is on the phone saying how Jeremiah has left the facility. And Zack is like, I'll come out there and get the rest of my money back. And she's like, no, it don't work like that. Once you drop them off, it's up to them whether they stay. And because he didn't stay, you can't get your money back. Like, that's just the policy. It's no refunds. So Zack has wasted a large sum of money dropping Jeremiah off, and now Jeremiah has left the home. But I think Jeremiah just wanted to go to the funeral. They should have dropped. I understand that they needed to drop Jeremiah off, but they kind of should have waited, in my opinion, kind of did what they had to do and waited until the funeral. Then his mind would have been halfway together. That's just my opinion. What are you guys thinking? Do y'all think they should have waited before they took Jeremiah to rehab, or should they have, dropped him off right away without going to his mama's funeral? All right. So moving right along, y'all. We're going to have a moment. We're going to have a moment where Zack, he receives a call. Like I said, he received a call from Fatima, said, come on home. So he gets home and he's thinking Fatima is about to, do something special, because there are rose petals on the floor. There's a note says, take your clothes off, don't talk, I'm waiting. Like, making it seem like it's about to go down in the DMs in this home and in this bedroom of Zack and Fatima. Well, lo and behold, Zack does as the note says. He doesn't say anything. He takes his shoes off, puts his shoes back. He got a little OCD because he lines his shoes up by the side of the stairwell or the staircase. He makes his way up the stairs, y'all. He gets ready to undress, as I say. I'm sorry. Hey, this is for the grown-ups, but he get ready to undress. He sees this image. It looks like Fatima. He thinks it's Fatima. And he gets in the bed and gets ready to, dive on in. And y'all already know Fatima is on her way up the stairs. Like, what the hell? And of course, that was the end of the episode. But then we move right on into what's really going down on the next episode of Zatima. And Zack is in the bed looking like he's going to, as they say, Pound Town. And I mean, it looked like he was getting it in, but he claims he didn't do anything. But anyway, y'all, I digress. We see where Zack is like, what the hell? Because he's what the hell into, because he realizes that it's not Fatima. Of course, by Fatima standing behind him, but then it's actually, y'all, Dirty Leslie, the new Dirty Diana. Every season, every episode, every show, I find a new Dirty Diana. So Zack literally jumps out of the bed. I didn't know, Fatima. I didn't know. Nothing happened. I didn't know. I thought it was you. And then when I realized it wasn't you, I stopped. Seemed like you didn't stop until she said, what the hell? So I don't know if Zack got it in, but it seemed like, Zack might have got it in. And they just gonna chalk this one up as, oh, nothing really happened. But anyway, y'all, after that, we go and we make our way. Zack is cool. Fatima is cool, because he didn't know. And she's saying, well, how could you not tell that wasn't me? I got more booty than her at the end. He's like, she got cake and you got cake and she got cupcakes. But all I saw was the back of her. I didn't know it wasn't you. So, like I said, they got past that moment, and then we see it's like a fast forward, because Fatima was like, wash the sheets, I'm not getting in that bed. And we fast forward to the funeral. So now we're at we're at Zack's mother's funeral. And the pastor's just up there talking. And Gladys was a good woman, and Gladys did this, and Gladys tried her best to get off of them drugs, and Gladys would come to me for help. And the pastor just talking. And I'm like, this pastor got a whole lot to say about Miss Gladys. She got a whole lot to say about Miss Gladys, y'all. But that's how it be when you go, and people got a lot to say. When you wait around, they act like they don't know you. So this is another moment that I want to share with you guys, where this is why I say Ameer Baraka is literally killing it by doing when he did the whole Zatima as Jeremiah. He literally killed it. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Ameer Baraka, make sure you go. I'll include the link, but make sure you check out the interview, that the Ruthless conversation that he and I did a little while ago. All right. So Jeremiah went somewhere, found him a clean shirt, found him some pants, some shoes to put on to make his way to his mama's funeral. But the unfortunate part about it, the casket was closed, and Jeremiah, he said, I just want to see my mama one last time. I just want to see my mama. They never opened the casket. Of course, it was during the funeral. But at the end of the day, I've been at funerals where somebody, of importance came in late, and they literally stopped the service to open up the casket one last time so that family member could view the body. But this was that in this case of Jeremiah, they did not open up the casket at that time. Like I said, we had the pastor getting up there and talking. Then there's a moment where Fatima actually gets up there and she sings How Great Thou Art. For those of you that grew up in a Baptist church, a Black Baptist church, or any matter of fact, any Baptist church, you probably heard the song How Great Thou Art before. And Fatima, Crystal Renee, she did an amazing job singing that song. But like I said, they, prior to her, singing that song, they kind of felt like Jeremiah was kind of creating a disturbance, and so they escorted him out of the church, and they went to talk to him. Fatima went to talk to him. She told Jeremiah, I care about you, and we're just gonna go in. We're gonna, be calm. We're gonna relax. We're gonna, just send your mom home the right way. Send her home basically with decency and order. And so he goes back into the church and he sits down. That's when we hear Fatima, sing her song. And the pastor is saying that now, Zack, is your turn to get up and talk, on behalf of your mother. But Zack, Jeremiah is like, no, I want to talk about my mama. I want to say something about my mama. Well, the pastor was like, ain't no sinner man gonna get up here and talk about, ain't gonna talk about nobody, because you don't have the right. You basically trying to call Jeremiah the devil, but Jeremiah was like, you're worse than anything. You were the one that, basically, yeah, you gave my mama money, but then she had to have sex with you in order for her to get that money. So you just as dirty as the drugs that she was doing. Like Jeremiah he literally went in on the pastor. But then Jeremiah said that his mama used to make him and Zack do a little dance. They were young. Now, when I say I wanted to cry at this moment, because he did the dance that they mama wanted him to do, but it's the drugs was in his system. So I'm gonna give y'all another video real quick, y'all. Let's see if I got the right video. I'm gonna give y'all another video. Listen, y'all. Jeremiah, he did his thing. Shout out to Ameer Baraka, like I said. But Jeremiah was, he's distraught over the fact that his mama is gone, and pastor was about to be told on, so he didn't want Jeremiah up there speaking his truth. He did not want him up there speaking his truth. But Jeremiah, he got up there, he told on him, and he did his dance. He shimmied the heck on up out of that church, y'all. He danced for his mama. So basically, everybody goes to the repast. The repast is at Zack and Fatima's home. Everybody is wanting to check on Fatima or check on Zack. Of course, Angela being messy. Why don't you go upstairs and check on Zack? No, he should not go upstairs and check on Zack. They have made amends. They're good. There's no reason for him to go upstairs and check on Zack. So then we have a moment. Of course, Preston just be showing up out of anywhere, but he was at the funeral too. He was there to support his boy, Zack. He goes, he asked Fatima, can I go up and talk to Zack? Can I check on him? She says, I'm going to go up there. Thank you for coming, Preston. I'm going to go up there. I'll check on him. And then I'll let you know if he ready to talk, or if he wants, to come down, or whatever the case may be. I'll make sure, But Preston is that friend. He's loyal to a fault. All the messy people are there. Of course, Belinda is there. Why? Because I guess she kind of know. She is with Nathaniel, so I guess that be her reason for coming, other than still trying to get in good with Zack. But Belinda is just messy boots. Messy boots. And I just, don't know why she's there. But Fatima goes upstairs and she talks to Zack, and she asks him, well, how are you doing? How are you feeling considering everything that's going on? And Zack is just saying, look, I'm numb. Like, I don't really have any particular feelings right now. I just don't know how to feel. And, especially considering the fact his mama wasn't there. She unfortunately chose drugs over her children. And so, Zack, he's somewhat okay, and decides that he's going to go downstairs because, they got company. And so he's going to go downstairs and not be a recluse and, just speak to everybody. But of course, Deja pulls up as if it's a party, but she's dressed in all black. So I guess it's appropriate for her to be there. She, of course, sees Preston. Now, she's been pressing Preston for a while. She's been trying to get in good with Preston for a while. I don't know if it's working. Preston did say he'll teach her how to ride a horse. So we'll see. We shall see, if indeed Preston and Deja end up becoming an item. We'll see, y'all. She's trying her best though. She's definitely trying with all her might to get in good with Preston. We know Preston got some change, but at the end of the day, he doesn't ride around like he's got money. So I don't know if, I don't know what would be Deja's reason for trying to get with Preston, but we'll see. We'll see. Of course, finally Zack and Preston end up having a conversation. I'm just checking on you. Don't worry about the money. We'll take care of everything else later. That was really the conversation between Zack as well as Preston. And then Zack says, I'm going to go holler at my family, meaning his other associates. Connie gets up and she says, she talks, I want to talk about Miss Gladys. Miss Gladys was nice. Miss Gladys was cool, but she was mean. And she mentions this moment where they stole some money or something from Miss Gladys. And Miss Gladys, basically, they got punished. But Zack was like, yeah, it was so funny. I ended up in the hospital. It was funny at the hospital. So basically, Miss Gladys must have put hands on Zack till he had to go to the hospital as a child. So that was not a good memory. But she didn't think of it that way. She didn't see it that way. She just thought of it as reminiscing about, the times that they had with Miss Gladys. Zack, he's thankful for, his friends for being there. Fatima and Connie, they're on a different wavelength right now. I'm hoping that once Zack reveals once Connie reveals what's really going on with her, that Fatima will be just a tad bit opening or welcoming to her. I don't know, because to me in that moment, Fatima seemed to have a little bit of insecurity about Connie, but Connie is not trying to get Zack. She said, I love you, to Zack, but not in that way. Like, I love you, we're family. And the whole crew, they get up, Tony and Nate, they get up, they hug it out. And, that's pretty much the end of that particular moment, where his family and friends are gathered. But then we got Jeremiah. Now, why Jeremiah got this t-shirt tied up, I don't know. But he goes running back into the house like somebody is chasing him like a bat out of hell, y'all. And yes, somebody is definitely chasing Jeremiah, and he runs and hides. Zack tells Tony to go and check on him. In walks these Thug, Bone, and Harmony, y'all. Thug, Bone, 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 Bone. Listen, I don't know how to describe them, but they pull up, they walk in the house, big and bad. Like, bruh, y'all gotta start locking these doors. But they walk in, they want, they're looking for Jeremiah. I guess Jeremiah owed them some money or whatever the case is. Zack looks back at Fatima and, she pats her stomach like, don't amp up the situation, think about me and this baby. And so at first I thought they was about to do something to Fatima, but then I realized that was just her telling Zack to think about me and the baby. And then, y'all, there's a moment where Jeremiah just pops up out of nowhere and begins to tussle. And then there's a whole street fight, y'all, and everybody is squabbling. Zack is fighting because Jeremiah started it. So now everybody are tussling. You got Preston fighting. You got Tony fighting. You got Nathaniel fighting. Like, everybody is squabbling up. And then dude right here, I'm going to take the picture. I'm going to take the image back to him. The dude that walked in with the dreads, ends up pulling a blicky and somebody gets pops. I don't think it's Fatima. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Replay game, let me know your thoughts in the comments as to who you think got popped. I don't think it was Fatima. I'm thinking it was Jeremiah, because Jeremiah went running. I think he went running in the direction of where Fatima was. He got down on the ground, or he was standing there. Oh boy, saw him, and he basically got Fatima to the ground. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's Jeremiah. Y'all drop in the comments. Let me know in the comments, who do you guys think got popped? And y'all, that's the end of the season of Zatima. This was your season finale recap. I have recapped for you guys episodes 17 through 20 of Tyler Perry's Zatima. I just want to thank you guys so much for coming through. I absolutely appreciate you guys. Make sure I have something special for you guys coming up Friday. If you are an Oval fan, Tyler Perry, the Oval fan, I have something very, very special coming up for you guys. So make sure you are tuned in, and I will be setting it up so you guys can tap your notifications, set your notifications up, because it's going down. We got a special guest that's coming through on All Things Ruthless, where we're going to talk about Tyler Perry's The Oval. And drop in the comments if y'all think y'all know who's coming through. At the end of the day, it's going down. It's going to be an amazing time. So Friday, 8:30 p.m., we're going to get started. 9:00 p.m., my guest is going to come through. Make sure you guys are locked in, and it's going to be an amazing time. We definitely got some other things coming up. We're definitely going to see you guys tomorrow night. Family Business NOLA with my girl, EJ the TV Junkie. Then Monday, we're going to do, February 3rd, we're going to do Girl in the Closet, myself, VKJTV. And he's going to have a special guest as well. And some other people, I'm sure others are going to join that particular live. But make sure you guys are locked in. Make sure. I'm also going to give you guys a quick recap or my thoughts on Section 31, Star Trek Section 31. Gotta give you guys my thoughts for the Trekkies out there. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you saw it already, drop in the comments as well. Anyway, you guys, that was it. Thank you all so much for tapping in, tuning in. Even though you guys a lot of you didn't comment, I still see you watching, because I can see that little eyeball up there. It's telling me how many people I got up in this chat. So thank you guys so much. I absolutely appreciate you all for coming through. Make sure y'all hit that like, that share, and that subscribe button. And tap the notification bell so that you can receive reminders of all Ruthless contents, okay? All right, y'all. I am out of here. Stay ruthless.